My name is Rene Zambrano. It's December 3rd, 2000. We are interviewing Mr. Lazaro Miranda Lupian for the U.S. Latina World War II Oral History Project. We're sitting here at the BFW Don Diego's in Barrio Logan in San Diego, California. Before we begin this interview, Mr. Lupian, we would like to let you know that we are very appreciative that you have spent some time or volunteer your time to make this project possible. So we acknowledge that. And I would also like to read the interview agreement for record purposes. The purpose of the U.S. Latino and Latina World War II Oral History Project is twofold. One is to salvage the stories of U.S. Latinos and Latinas of the World War II generation, and two is to develop a structured audio, video, and photographic archive that will be accessible to scholars, journalists, and others interested in learning more about what life was like for U.S. Latinos and Latinas before, during, and after World War II. The archives will be housed at the Nettie Lee Benson Latin American Collection and at the University of Texas Center for American History. So let me have you sign this part here, sir. This pen. And we can go ahead and begin the interview.
You don't want Miranda, do you? Just him? Because that's my...
Thank you. Great. We're ready to begin. We'll approach this interview from a chronological order perspective. Basically, let's begin by having you tell us a little bit about your family, how your family came to the U.S., or if your family was in the U.S. already. So we can begin, sir. Did your family immigrate to the U.S., or have they been here for a long time?
Yeah, they migrated here. 1923, 24.
How did they come to the U.S.?
The port of San Isidro.
Was there a purpose or a reason why they came here?
Looking for relatives.
Looking for relatives? Who was looking for relatives? Your
on my mother's side, yeah.
Who was
looking for a sister.
She was living in the U.S. or
she was living in Los Angeles, supposedly, but we never could find her until we were ready to go back, and they finally found her.
You found her in L.A.?
Yeah.
Was there any particular reason why they were looking for her? Was it just a case of...
well, she being the oldest, but mother being the youngest, they wanted to see each other. They hadn't seen each other for a long time, I guess so. Mm-hmm. And they were so close, they figured it was easy to find someone here in California. But
where was your mom and dad originally from? What part of Mexico?
Well, my mother is from Sinaloa, mm-hmm. Culiacan, Sinaloa. Mm-hmm. And my dad is from Jalisco. Mm-hmm. Autlán de la Grana.
From where?
Autlán de la Grana.
Okay.
Jalisco.
Tell us a little bit about your parents growing up, their education, their socioeconomic background.
Well, my dad, when he came here, after his some time roaming around California, he had to get to work something, so he started working at first a ditch digger and different jobs around. He ended up working as a waiter and a bartender and a maitre d' at the U.S. Grand for a long time. My mother always had restaurants. She was one of the first ones to have Mexican restaurants here in El Barrio.
Their conditions in Mexico, was your mom's family well off, or?
No. My dad was a military man, and when they were in Ensenada and they broke up the unity it was in, they decided to come over here to look for my aunt. But They weren't well-to-do, no. They were just regular.
Tell us a little bit more about your dad's role in the military. In that,
It was just, there was a battalion of Marine infantry that used to patrol Lower California and the outlying islands out here, like Guadalupe Island, where there was a lot of sheep over there. Used to be a lot of sheep, and the Americans would go down and slaughter them and bring them over here for meats and hides, and that's where they had the patrol. They had a patrol boat out there, and they used to guard it. They were guarding one side, and the Americans were taking the sheep off the other side. So it wasn't really.
Was there ever conflict between the two countries?
No, I don't. Not that I know of. I don't think so. He never did say anything to me about it.
Prior to your dad being stationed in Baja California, do you know how he anything else about his life or
about his resolutions? I have no idea. No. Never talked much about it.
What about his education?
He had a parochial education, I figure equivalent to about maybe 10th, 11th grade here in the States.
Mm-hmm. Was there any reason why he what was the reason why he had a parochial education?
Well, his uncles are, in fact, he had an uncle, I think there was a auxiliary bishop of Colima, and he got his education through there.
Your mom, did she?
She was a little old gal from the outlying area of Culiacan, little ranch out there. She was just a farmer, so farmer's daughter.
Did your mother had the opportunity to get an education?
No. University of Hard Knocks, that's all.
You so they come to the U.S. in 1923, 1924, and they had no intention to settle or stay here.
Not really. They didn't have it. When they first came, they didn't. And they traveled up and down San Joaquin Valley, and because they had rumors that the family was up there, and then they were down here, and then in Los Angeles, and then when they were ready to go home, they were down here in San Diego, and they found out that they were living in Los Angeles.
How do you guys find out?
Friend of my mother, I guess, something like that. Never did say much. All of a sudden, they were there. The whole family was there.
During our pre-interview, you had mentioned to us that your dad was involved in the Mexican Revolution.
Well, one of them.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about?
Oh, he never did speak much about that. Like I said, the latter part of it, he was part of this 2 units, which Mexico had at that time, one in Veracruz and one in Ensenada. And he was the one in Ensenada, his battalion of infantry Marines, or Marines, actually. And they were the guys who were doing all the guarding on the...
But was that during the revolution?
No, that was after.
Okay, but as far as she's bombing in the Mexican Revolution, you had mentioned to us that put her under the rebel forces.
Well, really, you couldn't tell because there were so many uprisings up that time, and whether they were federal or rebel, I couldn't tell you. But mostly, I think he was more in federal.
Was that based on
but not the federal that the original revolutionary start, because like saying, there's so many uprisings, especially where he was at in Southern Park in Sinaloa and Sonora. I was chasing the Yaquis and all that bit. He was How can I say? It was the government that overthrew the federal government, and then they became the opponent because there was another uprising that raised against them and all that bit. So it really wasn't the original revolutionary. It started in 1910. No, hell, he'd only been 10 years old if he. Of course, he went in when he was 14, I believe.
Okay, so maybe it was just more of a people who were still uprising.
Still up, yeah. They're still had
After the revolution?
Yeah. The skirmishes after the revolution, yeah.
How did your mom, you mentioned that your mom never got an education, but yet when she came to the United States, she was one of the first Mexicans to have a business or two restaurants. How did she manage to become very successful in that business?
I guess good cooking. Guess that she started in the restaurants. Had her own little restaurant. Had one next to Mike Amador. Had one down the street. Like I said, she helped all the people around it. All the guys that were working in the fields that didn't have any way to eat. They used to eat there at the restaurant there. And sometimes they'd pay them. Sometimes they wouldn't pay her because they didn't have any. They'd pay them with whatever vegetables they'd bring in, like celery, lemons, and all that bit. But she was always a natural cook, so her food was real well known.
How did she begin her business, restaurant? I mean, it takes resources and it takes money.
Well, my dad was working, and I was the only one with her, and she was doing nothing at home. She decided, well, gonna start something. So she rented this little hole on the wall and started there. And if you been to Mike Amador, you probably know that curio or little store right next to Mike Amador's, the grocery store down there. Mm-hmm. That was the whole restaurant, right?
What street is it on?
On National.
So the store's on National Avenue?
Yeah. Right there, National and Beardsley.
National and Beardsley?
Yeah.
The corner. Tell us a little bit about your dad's experience working here in the hotel, the Brown Hotel.
At the Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he started there washing pots, like he told me. He's washing pots, washing dishes, and he was a young woman. I would say he was a good-looking guy. He learned to speak English, but he always had that accent. Real, how can I say, it worked towards his good when he became a waiter and a bartender, and especially when he was a maitre d', because people get, they pay attention when a person with an accent talks to you and says, "Pasen por aquí," or "Come right this way. This is your table here." With an accent, it sounds better in a restaurant, and that's why I always kept it. And bartending was the same way too. Always that's what he used to tell me. Like a person that, if you make a person like you, you'll make more money, he says. So that's the way it was.
Did he working in the hotel industry during that period? Was it a good job for him?
Yeah, well, it was during the Depression and all that bit, but it was a job. It didn't pay too much. Of course, $1 at that time was worth $10, $15, $20 now. Perhaps more. After he left the Grant, which he worked there for years. He worked at the Capochel. That's a bowling alley down there. It used to be a bowling alley down on Broadway in San Diego, where all the military brats used to hang out at, in the bar and cocktail lounge. And that's where he worked all during the war, in the cocktail lounge.
So he was able to see military men who were coming from the war or somehow involved.
While he was at the Grant, working at the Grant, he waited on Roosevelt. He waited on Hoover, President Hoover, and other dignitaries. One thing I forgot to tell you, during Nixon's administration, my mom and dad were invited to a state dinner at the Hotel del Coronado. My dad and my mother they got telegrams from the White House to be invited to a state dinner when the president of Mexico came down and Nixon met at the Coronado. And my mom being so involved in Fiestas Patrias, the council had an invitation for her, just to go. That's one thing I didn't tell in our first interview, which I think was real nice. Tricky Dicky was there, but she told me I still got the telegram, the whole thing. She sat next to Secretary of Agriculture, I think, Ezra Benson. She sat next to him. My dad, they separated. I don't know why they separated. My dad was sitting with some other dignitaries. And it was quite a deal. It was an honor for her. She thought that was the greatest thing in the world ever happened to her.
So your mom was president of the Fiestas Patrias Council?
Yeah. Well, she used to run them a lot.
Tell us about what was the Fiestas Patrias?
Well, it's Buenas tardes. Fiestas Patrias, that's the celebration of the celebration of the independence, 50s and 60s in the September independence celebration, the independence from Spain, actually. And she got involved with a Mexican consulate here, and that's how she started making them. We used to hold a grito first at the Spreckles Pavilion. That's where they have the nativity scenes now over there. And then they moved them down to Fort Bowl, next to the, what do you call it? I guess it's Aviation Museum. I think they got it at the Fort Bowl. And that's where they don't have them anymore now. They're all broken up, different neighborhoods now. Each one has, San Isidro has one, and Escondido has one. But before then, they'd all just converge into one big one. Used to fill up that Fort Bowl, and that's quite a big place.
All the community just come together?
Yeah, all the community would come together.
Was that Fiestas Patrias one of the biggest Mexican festivities during the year?
Yeah, that was one of the biggest, yeah.
Did Mexican also celebrate 4th of July?
Huh?
Did the Mexican community also celebrate the 4th of July?
Oh, yeah, sure. Kids didn't go to school, and that celebration or not.
Did your dad ever complain about the change of lifestyles of having had a military career first and then going from that to washing dishes? Or
no, he never did. Never did. My dad was real, very disciplined with himself. I mean, he wouldn't let anything bother him. I mean, if he was good in one time and bad times, he'd stood by it all the time. He was flexible, to put it that way. He wouldn't let it get the worst of him.
Did your dad ever meet? Did he had the opportunity to meet Roosevelt, Hoover, in person?
Oh yeah, we served him.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about your school years, from grammar school through high school.
For grammar school, I went to Sherman. That's one of the elementary schools, and that's still on top of the hill up here. There was nothing much there, just as far as I can remember, is going down, walking up to school, walking back to, my mother had the restaurant at the time, and there was a friend of mine, a guy named Sam Navarre, Italian kid. We stick around together, and his mother had the olive plant down here on Newton, and he'd take me down there and eat me, give me tuna fish sandwiches, pan birote, and I'd take him to my house or the restaurant and feed him enchiladas and tamales. But all the guys were growing up just like we were. There wasn't any gangs. There were just men in school and back and forth, always at the neighbor. And that was about it.
Say that again. You were at the
neighborhood house. It's the but Clinica is right there now. It's used to call it a neighborhood house.
The Chicano Clinic.
Yeah, it used to be well, I went to kindergarten there, so it was.
Yeah. Was a neighborhood house a school facility?
It was how the heck can I call it? A daycare center, so it was. For kids at pre-kindergarten. That's where I learned my first English right there in grammar school, in kindergarten. Had different arts, athletics.
Where did your family live at the time?
We lived, where did we live at the time? Man, if I can remember where we lived. I know we had the restaurant.
You had the restaurant across from you?
No, on National. At that time, of course, later on we had another restaurant on Logan. Oh. Where did we live at the time? I think we lived on Newton, if I'm mistaken.
What were your school days like?
Good. All right. Never gotten any problems.
How was, looking back in your school years, what were the experience like? What was the experience like being of Mexican descent or having Mexican parents and having that Mexican culture deep in you, and then coming to school where during that period there was this whole wave of school Americanization? How did that fit into your life?
Well, thinking way back, I was just be ashamed to bring out my taquitos, taken to school to eat. But then later on, it was a matter of exchanging peanut butter sandwiches for taquitos because the gringos like taquitos, So that got along all right. But there really wasn't any. Sure, it was a change because I had to learn English.
So, during your first few years of school, it was hard for you to, I guess, the clashing of two cultures coming together. Did that give you a sense of inferiority coming to a dominant culture or a school where the dominant culture was practiced for the most part?
You mean the American culture?
American culture?
To tell you the truth, I never thought about it. Never thought too much about it.
Why were you ashamed of the taquito? You say that it was hard for
Well, at first, most of us, taquito, it was something I thought was shameful, inferior. Felt not inferior, it felt different.
Yeah.
As in, I never wasn't inferior to anybody. I'd be different, but that's it. But like I say, by assimilation, they started taking my taquitos and I took their peanut butter sandwiches.
How was your classroom experience like? Would you say, looking back also, would you say that the teachers also push Mexican students to Americanize in school? And how did that feel for you?
You mean push in what way?
In the sense of, academic language, for example?
Well, they were there to teach us English, naturally, but some of us, I'll include myself in that too, that weren't too smart, in other words, so they used to give us extra work, not for punishment, but for learning purposes.
Did you ever hear, during that period, about the Bliss Bill, 1930s? There was a Bliss Bill that had it passed. It would have segregated all the Mexicans to their on separate schools.
Never heard of it.
Did you?
I think that was supposed to be the Lemon Grove incident, wasn't it?
The Lemon Grove incident helped defeat that bill that was up for voting during that time.
But I never was involved in anything like that. Nothing ever happened to that.
Did you hear about school segregation during that period?
Most of us were. There was a lot of Mexican there. La gringos, Italianos. There's all this area at this time was Japanese, Italians, Mexicans. They all worked there. Fish canneries and all that. So they're all together, living together, and actually the kids would be in school together. So there wasn't much of a segregation there.
Did you feel that, or think at the time that American food was better than Mexican food?
No.
So you went to Sherman, and were you allowed to speak Spanish, either Sherman or at your junior high school?
We used to speak it on the outside, not in class.
Why?
Because they were there to teach us English.
Did you occasionally speak Spanish in class?
Huh?
Did you occasionally speak Spanish in class?
On the outside, in the playgrounds, yeah.
Not in
class, no.
Any particular reason why? Knowing your languages and knowing that you communicate in both English and Spanish.
Yeah, but not everybody can communicate and think in Spanish to them. But like I say, there was Italiano, Mexicano, Japanese, Chinese, everything. They all.
Did you have any bilingual teachers?
No.
Any Mexican teachers in general?
No, I never had a Mexican teacher. Never. I never had one.
So you went from Sherman to what school did you go after?
Well, I went to a series of elementary schools, but the next one, was the junior high school, was Memorial, up the street here. I went to Memorial.
What other schools did you go to besides Sherman? Elementary school?
Lincoln Elementary, which was where your junior college started there on 12th and F or something. That's where San Diego Junior College started in it. That was the old Lincoln Lincoln Elementary.
Right next to San Diego High School?
No. The original junior college was, like I say, where Lincoln Elementary was at. Which was between E and F. E and F on 12th. That's 2-3 blocks from where the present junior college is in now.
What was the reason that you went from school to school to different grammar schools?
Oh well, you see. Lincoln, we moved to the hell. I can't remember, but I know when I went to Washington, that was an Italian area. There was a better house up there. We got a big house.
In the Italian neighborhood?
Yeah. You lived up there.
Would you say that the Italian neighborhoods were better off than the Mexican neighborhoods?
Same thing.
Same thing? Tell us about Memorial.
Memorial was okay. The only one that used to get after us sometimes was the vice principal, old man Troge.
What was the name or her name?
Troge, I think. Troge.
Why?
It was a disciplinary man. Of course, we weren't the smartest kids in school. Right? We weren't how can I say, we weren't the most disciplined kids in school. Raised little heck once in a while, and we used to. And of course, we were growing up, After them, a disciplinary man like him, he was all right. He was okay. I see now that what he did was right for the whole picture. A lot of guys say, you're going to send you to see old man Troge. Hey, yeah. But after thinking and all that.
Was he particular more strictly for Mexican kids or?
No, not those. He treated everybody the same. He was a mean guy to everybody.
Were you placed in any special classes at Memorial or?
I was in one class up there, which I say had everything. What do you call that? I'm going to eat him up for chow one of these days. The heck we were talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. We let me go back. You say you were placed in special special classes.
Yeah. We had, like I say, Chinese, Japanese, anyone that couldn't speak English at all or very little or had difficulty speaking, even if he was a gringo, was in his class. Because this gal was supposed to be a special educator, and I was going to teach you.
So also special about it. What
Well,
how did you?
all she did was talk English, which is what we were there for, to teach us English.
So were you getting more rigorous instruction, or?
Well, it was a special one, you might say. It wasn't a bilingual teacher, because I don't believe in bilingual education, believe it or not.
Was that part of the Americanization program?
What's that? No, that was just to teach you English so you could get in the class with the rest of the people. And that was just an hour a day.
Did you think you weren't smart, or did you think you weren't smart yourself, or were the teachers, did the teachers imply it or suggest that you weren't smart? Did they suggest that to the students?
I got that in high school. And I was probing about going to college. And he says, well, you didn't take the right classes. I says, well, how do you take the right classes? Well, you got to take Latin, you got to take this, you got to take that. And forget it, I says. That's about the only. I never was to be keen in college anyway, for a college education.
So then from Memorial Junior High, you went to
San Diego High School.
Tell us a little bit about San Diego High School.
No, San Diego High was wide open because you got the high school there. You got kids from all over, from different schools, including Chicanada, Mexican guys from other schools, and met new friends, new atmospheres. You got more involved with La Gringada. We did have a class there called Our Mexican Neighbors, put up by a teacher called just Mr. Alexander, I think it was. And that was just to teach the gringo about the Mexican, mostly. I think that's what the class was. Because we used to run the class, the Mexicana, this. A couple of guys play the guitar, we play a couple of songs, and just to involve the gringos into the Mexican culture. That's what they call us, our Mexican neighbors. We did have a couple of trips down to Tijuana to go visit the newly established college down there, Agua Caliente Casino.
The racetrack?
Yeah. The hotel, actually.
How did your how did the community deal with the Great Depression, from what you've seen, looking at the Great Depression through your eyes back in the 30s?
Well, a lot of people went back home, went back to Mexico, so I know.
Any of your friends went back to Mexico?
Probably. Not that can't remember any one person right now, but I know there was a shipload left from here. I remember because my dad took me. Their friends must have gone there because they took us out to wish them farewell.
Was this ship left from where?
San Diego.
The port here,
Yeah. El Progreso, they called it.
The ship was named El Progreso. Was that part of the government program?
The United States government? I don't know.
Or was it a voluntary departure?
I think it was a voluntary departure more than anything else.
Did you remember the Repatriation Act that the government enacted under Wilson or Hoover?
Someone like that. I don't know what the hell it was. That was part of it.
That was part of it?
Yeah. That was people they gave them the opportunity if they want to go back to Mexico. There's the ship. Just like the same thing. Like when you came over, you want to come over, doors are wide open.
So the U.S. was also allowing people to come back in?
Sure. But we come in 1923, 24. In fact, one of the question intended was, you intend staying? My dad told him, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But there was no quotas, no nothing.
What was the purpose of this project, this environment project that we've talking about?
You mean the repatriation? I guess to relieve unemployment here.
Was there unemployment?
Sure, it was during the Depression.
Were Mexicans blamed for that unemployment?
Nah. Everybody was out of work.
Did you also see other people suffer severely because of the Great Depression, Larry?
Hi. Well, I don't remember.
So you graduated in what year from high school?
41. February 41.
What did you do after graduated from high school?
I went to work.
Doing what?
Oh, I started at the Grant. We started, I used to sell papers, but the real good first job was at the Grant.
Did you tell me you were a cook?
Yeah, that too. But I was a butcher.
Was this at the Grand Hotel?
Yeah. I was a butcher boy. Right? Then they learned a good profession there.
So graduating from high school, and you also mentioned to us last time that every student that graduated from high school had to meet with the principal to discuss their future plans. Was that part of your high school experience?
Meet with whom?
The principal to, like an exit interview to discuss what your future plans were as far as college and high school. Did you get that?
No, I had a counselor that I was smoking in here. It was a counselor, not the principal. It was a counselor. Like I say, I was in college qualified because I didn't take the right subjects, supposedly, according to a counselor. I asked her, well, how come I wasn't counseled to take the right? You might say might have been a little prejudice there, but I never thought about it as that.
At that point, did you feel that you were somehow had been cheated out that
Not really.
you were placed in
really trials, advertises? Not really, because I was working when I was in high school, and I was making good money. I used to take care of myself, help the house, buy my own clothes, and I was still in school. So I didn't really care. Not that I didn't really care. I was on the mainstream. I was working. I had a job. As soon as I got out of high school, I was going to have a permanent job. While these other guys getting out of school didn't have a job. That's what I'm trying to get over. Because I had been working 2 years before I even got out of high school.
So you worked for the next year while you got out of high school, and then
I went into the service.
How do you get involved with the service?
Well, I was drafted in.
Before we get into the military, your military experience, where were you at when Pearl Harbor got bombed?
I was on my way to go see my girlfriend. She lived in Vista. I was on 101, Highway 101. heading up north. That's what I heard about the attack.
Mm-hmm. How do you hear about this attack, the Pearl Harbor attack?
I was on car radio.
What were your reactions at that point? Did you?
I really didn't think much about it.
Did it ever cross your mind that you might get drafted?
I had this notion that it was going to be a long time that I'd be drafted because I wasn't a citizen. Long time wasn't very true because we were the first ones, non-citizens, to go in.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was Armando Rodriguez
Mm-hmm.
and myself.
How do your parents react to this whole
Like,
issue and being
like
drafted?
any other parent, they didn't like it, but what were you going to do?
Well, how about your dad?
Yeah, my dad, he says, they want you, you better go. He says, but you got a chance if you want to. You can go to military college in Mexico if you want to go. He says, no, Dad, I don't want to go.
So yeah, giving you the option of going to the El Colegio Militar in Mexico.
Yeah.
Was that an option to dodging the war?
It would be to me.
What if?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Did you?
Well, I felt I made the right decision by staying here. Because my parents finally realized that they were going to be here, and they realized they couldn't live here if I was over there. And they were here. And all the people, they knew that their kids were over there fighting, and me not with them. So they realized that was the right decision I had made.
Did any of your friends dodge the war?
Oh, I knew a couple of them that dodged it, yeah.
How did community members respond to people who were dodging the war at the time?
Well, the old ladies, I guess, I don't know. The mothers, I guess, they felt bad. I mean, I really couldn't take it.
During the pre-interview, you mentioned to us that your dad said to you or said not to do anything that would disgrace the pabellon. What did you mean by that?
Well,
Or what did he mean by that?
well, in other words, behave. Don't do anything that will disgrace you or your family or your country. That's what he meant.
So you get drafted January 1942? Is that when you became drafted or
No, it was later than that. I got my notice and I got drafted later on. Something like that. About the middle of the year, I guess it was.
Now, how do you feel that, at first you're thinking, well, it's not going to be a while before I get drafted because I'm not a citizen, right? And then everything is just ironic because you're one of the first one to get drafted. How do you feel about that? I mean, was that shocking to you? And
yeah, it was.
Says that, whoa, I got to go.
What the hell? What's going on here? What the heck? Armando had already gone. I says, well, they'll take him. I guess they're going to take me too. So,
did you do anything in particular to prepare yourself, say mentally, to go to war? Or to go into the military service?
No, just like every other goat that went in, just follow the sheep.
Going or during that period, 1940s, anything in particular that you remember that was going in the country? Pearl Harbor got bombed. The Lemon Grove incident, what's going on, had happened to. Anything in particular that was going on in California?
That I remember.
Tell us how you your experience going through going through to camp, the military camp?
Oh, basic training, which is always rough. And you got assigned to a unit. He had more training.
What kind of things did you have to learn to do in particular?
Oh, hell, well, practically everything, start you from scratch.
The first training camp that you went to was when we first.
Well, when I first got drafted, it was Fort McArthur. It was in Fort McArthur. And from there, we went to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Did you do anything?
For the basic training there.
Did anything different happen at Little Rock, Arkansas?
But the only outstanding thing that happened over Arkansas is I got in a squabble with some guy. He was from Florida, I was from California, and that was the end number. The deal was that he thought he was going to beat up on me because he was bigger than I was. And he didn't do it. That's about it. But the night that we're going to leave Little Rock, we did have a sort of a squabble there with an NCO that we never did get along with him. I don't know why. He was a Mexican from Texas. I don't know what part. He had his against us. I don't know why he was against us. The majority of us.
Against who? Against
the Mexicanos.
Americano against Americano.
Yeah. Just because a little buck sergeant. And we got a hold of him. And if it hadn't been for some gringos, we'd have probably clobbered him. But anyway, they did lock us up in the barracks till we got out the next day. That was my big incident in Little Rock. There's another guy involved in that. Yeah, I don't know if you've spoken to him. Oscar Romero. Mm-hmm. Have you spoken to him?
We are in the process of interviewing him.
Yeah, there's a good source there. He remembers that night.
Was he the same?
Yeah, he was my basic training company.
So then after that, you were moved to where?
Fort Meade, Maryland. We got assigned to a division there, so there's more training, more divisional training.
Did you ever experience any discrimination in Maryland?
No.
Mm-hmm. Then you stay there for how long before going to? Did you actually go to war from there?
No. From there, we went to Virginia for about 6 months, I think, in the summer, I believe. And man, it was full of swamps and everything else. From there, they sent us to Wisconsin in the cold, extreme heat, cold.
Is there a reason why they send you to
live different kind of types of training? We're maneuvering in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. There, we finally Indio we were called all of a sudden back, and I was out on a patrol, and they did call me, and they would have got contacted me. But 3 days later, we ended up in our camp area, and everybody was gone. They were all back in division, back in Camp McCoy. We got there.
You're back to Camp
McCoy, where we were stationed at. And they had already been sent on furloughs because the division wasn't going to go overseas. Or they were breaking that up to send the guys for replacements. So when I got back to the camp, my orders to come to California on a furlough were there 2 weeks. Can't come all the way from California, from Wisconsin to California and stay any kind of a time here because there's not enough time. Trains don't travel that fast, Now you got planes, but we take it a week for traveling time to itself, back and forth. But anyway, I didn't realize at the time that I had my feet had been frostbitten. So when I got back to camp, all my buddies left, and I entered in the hospital with frozen feet. So I didn't go overseas with my outfit. I had to stay there, wait until they replenished the company, the division again with replacements, and started the whole cycle again, training these guys. And then I was a buck sergeant then. So my buddies that it was basic training and all that went overseas before I did.
So Oscar Romero went to
he went overseas before I did.
Where did he go? What part of the?
He went to Europe.
Went to Europe.
Yeah. But anyway, I was, I think, 6 months late with that trend. Anyway, as I ended up over in the hospital. But that was it. Till we got overseas, and that was.
So when you went overseas, where did you departure from?
I think it was Boston, I think. Yeah, I think it was Boston.
From what camp? From one training camp?
Miles Standish. Camp Miles Standish.
You went from Boston to where?
Southampton.
England.
Yeah.
So what happened? I'll let you go from there. Well, just tell us what you did from there, from England, and how you got involved in the war from there.
Well, I didn't get involved in the war till after July, August, I think, when my outfit finally got overseas, into France. Where he got attached to the Third Army, and that was it.
Who was the commander in the Third Army?
Pat.
Did you ever meet Pat?
I'd seen him from about here to the door. That's about it. I never met him. Just seen him. When we went overseas, we were used as combat teams. They assigned the different outfits as combat teams.
What did you think about? What did you think of Penn?
He's all right. Good general.
Was there any having been in part of his army, was there any did you ever hear comments about him?
Yeah, no good SOB, that's all.
So then when was your first battle? Right, when the first fight, the first time you seen?
Shit, I can't remember. About around Belgium, Luxembourg, before we jumped. Luxembourg was the first battles we had actually were when we were attached to my regiment. The 385th was attached to the 10th Armored Division. We took Trier. That's an ancient city. That was one of my fights I can recollect.
What was your first experience in your first battle? What was your first experience, Lance?
Oh, heck, I don't know. Look out for yourself, I guess. Scared.
Now, this was where in Luxembourg or Belgium?
Well, to tell you the truth, I can't remember whether it was Luxembourg or Belgium, which of the two, I don't remember. But it was in that area.
Tell us in detail what happened there, so that I guess to have more clarity of how your experience developed as you move to to conquer the Axis powers.
That way, you see. Well, actually, the first thing, to what I can remember now, my biggest experience was fighting through the Siegfried Line. That's it.
Fighting through the what?
The Siegfried Line.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a matter of pillboxes and big dragon teeth, they call them else, cement bunkers and everything else. You had to fight through that to get into Germany. I was part of fortifications that the Germans had.
That was part of the fortification that the Germans had. So they're called sea bunkers. What's the term that you just said? Sea bunkers,
Cement bunkers.
Cement bunkers.
Yeah,
that's where they're basically they're defending. Or
yeah, they had their machine guns and their pillboxes and dragon teeth. They were sort of obstacles that stop tanks from going in and all that bit.
What exactly were the dragon teeth?
Cement blocks, that was pointed here and there.
Okay.
So they couldn't drive anything through them.
Okay. You guys had that was your first big experience of penetrating through there?
Yeah.
How did you manage to penetrate through there?
On my belly, I guess. Getting through.
So it was a slow process?
Yeah.
What did the American forces do to overcome the cement bunkers?
Or capture them. You capture a pillbox, then you got that area of terrain around that you neutralize. Because the dragon teeth are just a matter of holding back mechanical stuff, but men could get through them. You got to get through to the pillboxes to neutralize the area around it so that you could get.
How long did this problem last? Lasted?
Well, it didn't last very long for me because I got hit, and then the next thing.
How did you get hit? What were you doing at that moment when you got hit?
I was running towards the pillbox.
Did you ever confront any Germans?
Oh yeah, just once or twice.
Was that during that interview?
Close. No, just as
Later on.
later on.
What went through your mind at the moment you got hit?
Sigh of relief. You know, I'm going back to the lines. Safety. That's it.
And tell us, did the Americans forces use any special strategies? So any strategies in particular to neutralize the pillboxes, as you were saying?
Oh, there's always a plan for it, an overall plan, I guess. Well, our individual deals, I guess, were run by our higher ups, you know, the captains, all that. But the plans, big plans, are made by the big shots. I mean,
Wow. How did having been there, how did one describe to us what usually happened when one of the pillboxes was captured by the American forces? Did you guys, for example, throw grenades in there, or?
yeah, at times. One time we did. We threw a grenade in there, neutralized it. They came out.
Surrender, basically?
They were really thin manned. They weren't fully manned, let's put it that way. They had skeleton crews in certain sections.
They had what? Skeleton?
Skeleton crews, skeleton. There was a minimum of personnel in them because they were losing their people. And still, they were still fighting the Russians, in other words, and they had to, they thought that was their priority, beat the Russians first. They were getting whipped on this side over here, too. Damn, it's getting cold.
Did you, during that skirmish that you had, or skirmish, did some Germans decide to fight back instead of being captured?
How was that?
Did some Germans decide to fight back instead of being captured?
Oh, yeah. They always did.
You mentioned that you felt a sense of relief when you got hit. Why?
Well, you wouldn't be in danger anymore. That's one thing. Anybody would.
What was danger for you being
in the vicinity, naturally, being in combat.
We see a lot of people getting killed at the right.
I didn't see them left and right, but I saw people, saw cadavers. You just slip a paper down there. See death. I mean, you get a certain sense of relief. You don't have to see it anymore.
So you go back to you went to back, you got hit. Where do you get hit? You got hit you got it in your arm? In what?
Yeah, I got it in my arm.
Then you were,
first time, yeah.
You went to McArthur?
I went to Luxembourg.
And you were there how long before you went back?
Oh, I don't remember. It was a very serious deal. Go back
So when you went back, where were you sent to? Where did
You mean to the hospital?
you went to the hospital? Then you were recovered. Then you
Then I went back to my outfit. I don't remember where I caught up with them.
where was your next major battle?
It was in Germany.
Germany?
Yeah, in Germany. Because I can't remember really, because after we got into Germany, we just got on top of tanks and just took off like bat out of hell, chasing the crowds. And there wasn't a real resistance. There was resistance, yes, but not like we had in Luxembourg and in Belgium. They were losing the war.
How do you feel how do you feel after you got released and how did you feel after being released from the hospital and being sent back to the battlefields?
Good.
Were you ready to go back?
Yeah.
So when you went back, the most of the war was more of a proactive war, going pushing the or
Crowds back, yeah.
pushing the Axis powers back,
Germany, not the Axis.
or Germany back. Did the fighting strategies or tactics that you guys used change?
No. Well, they changed. They changed when we mounted on tanks. We were, instead of ground pounding, we were riding on tanks, doing 10, 15 miles a day, more sometimes 30 miles a day. Well, we were walking, you only get 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm. So was your experience during that time, was it mostly capturing people that were
We didn't capture, we just sent them back. And get in the Union, just send them back. They were glad to give up, just send them back. Rear echelon would take care of them. We didn't do it, capturing, let's just send them back.
Germans? Can you elaborate a little bit more when you say send them back?
Back to the line, just back towards our rear echelon.
Did the American troops have any concentration camps for Germans?
There was camps, prisoner camps, yeah. After the war, there was a big one. One we were taking care of was called Plauen. It was in Plauen, Germany.
Plauen, Germany?
Plauen, yeah.
Plauen, P-A or
P-A-U-L, Plauen or something. And it took just one Jeep and 2 men to ride through the whole camp, just watching, because these guys wouldn't go anywhere. We were feeding them. Of course, this was after the war now. We were feeding them, and they were being waited to get processed out. They were going to go home. And while they were there, they were getting taken care of good American food and everything else.
You got to see that camp?
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance were American troops allowed to speak to them?
Oh, yeah, we speak to them.
Did you ever engage in a dialogue with one of them?
Not really. Just tell them what to do, and that's it.
Did you have any feeling towards Germans? For any sentiments towards them?
Bad sentiments? No. I didn't particularly care for them, but I had no.
Tell us in detail of the conditions of people in the concentration camps.
I couldn't tell you much about that. Concentration camps, no.
You mean
German concentration camps.
Right.
I couldn't tell you.
Based on your observation, maybe did you get a sense of?
I saw a lot of people that came from out of concentration camps. They didn't look no good to me. I mean, they half starved, skinny, sick. But I didn't really see anybody in concentration camps. No.
Okay. So you keep moving. You kept moving into Germany. How did that incident? Was this your last battle, or the last time you were in German territory before the war was over?
Well, no, I was in Germany when the war ended.
Mm-hmm. So what happened from, you guys are pushing the Germans back, and how did you get hit again? Was it another battle that you fought?
Yeah, we were going to jump off. Can't remember the name of the little town, what it was. I had all my men prepared. All of a sudden, something burst, and I got hit again. Next thing I knew, I was on a plane to Paris.
You passed out?
Oh, yeah.
And where do you get hit this time?
My legs.
Both legs?
One leg. My left leg, size.
What exactly was... You say that you and your men were getting ready to jump off. I'm trying to get a better...
Attack. We were going to attack.
Attack where?
A town.
A town.
Yeah.
You don't remember the name of the town? And you got hit, so you never got to see any action. Later on, when you get when you received news, did the forces capture the town?
Oh, that was before we. That was before we jumped into Germany. This is on the other side of the Rhine. That town that I captured. Mm-hmm. Just what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was on.
Well,
yeah, that's before we got into Germany.
This was before you guys joined. Yeah. Okay. When you got hit the second time, did the other American forces successfully capture the town you were ready to?
Oh yeah. My platoon went on ahead. They captured.
And then you went to the hospital where?
Paris.
Paris? The name of the hospital? Huh? No. So you went and you stayed.
All I know, it used to be a insane asylum. Insane asylum. It was a hospital, insane asylum. So it was. They used to have the nuts there. I mean, the French people had the nuts in there.
How long were you at the hospital there?
Ooh. I know I got back to my outfit in April, I think. April, May, and I finally got back to my outfit again. The war. In fact, I got back to my outfit again after the war was over.
Mm-hmm. So you got back to your outfit before the war was over?
Yeah, the Germans had capitulated already. Mm-hmm. When I got back, ended up in.
What were your responsibilities as what were your responsibilities as a sergeant?
Oh, my official deal was I was a platoon guide, uh-huh. And then when I got hit the last time, I was a platoon sergeant.
Mm-hmm. What were your responsibilities or duties?
My duty, whatever a sergeant does, handle his men, maneuver, deploy his men, put them up in different sites, and well, I really can't explain it. What can I?
Persona.
Tell us that interesting part of piece of history that everybody has been talking about, the part where you came into the town, or you were the first person to come to this town in Germany, and town was named after you. How did that happen in detail?
I can't remember. This has just a few sketches on there. That's it. Supposed to be. It started off to be a reconnaissance patrol.
Mm-hmm.
A reconnaissance patrol, which turned out to be a combat patrol, actually, because they ran into something we didn't know was there, which is this little town. I mean, little. It was little. Biggest thing was a smokestack, brick smokestack. That's the biggest thing they had in the town. Otherwise, it was maybe 10, 15 houses scattered all over this edge of on the banks of the Rhine.
Mm-hmm. History. So you were originally, the intention was to go on a reconnaissance
to see what was on. The old man sent me down, and two other guys sent us down to reconnoiter the beach, or not the beach, the edge of the Rhine, where the rivers had. Go down to the river's edge and check around. And we ran into this little town. And that's about it. Got in there, and it was a firefight. Actually two casualties, one dead and one wounded. Crowds, and that's all we knew. There might have been more, I don't know, but they didn't come out. We didn't find anything else in it.
In the town. So how did this short or small skirmish, how did it happen? Two Germans were fired?
Yeah, they shot at us, yeah. As soon as we shot back at them, the guy got wounded, gave up, and that was it.
Did you, after searching that town, did you see any or find any evidence to suggest that there might have been more Germans there?
Oh yeah, there might have been. It had to be, but we couldn't find them. We found a shaft. A shaft. It must have been an old mining town or something, because it was a shaft. I don't know how deep the damn thing was. It must have gone hundreds of feet down there below. Mm-hmm. But I think, I still say there was a.
So you mentioned earlier that this very powerful, interesting and story was published in San Diego Union. Was it April 24th, 1945?
I don't remember what's the date up there.
Yeah, it was. April 21st, 1945. Word was that you had capture of town, and you mentioned that there was more to the story that was published, right? Oh, that was.
Well, just what I told you right now, because I don't think this says anything too much on it. I haven't read the damn thing. The print's too.
So captain names What was the name of your captain? Or captain is Germantown for San Diego Hero. Now won it for second time. Who was the person that decided to name it after you?
My captain.
His name was?
Can't think of it.
Now, did you get word that you when you were there? Did you get word that this Germantown was going to be? What do they call it? What do they call the town?
Lupianville.
When did you first find out that was the call?
Oh, I got this. I wrote my dad, and that's what he did there.
Oh, your dad informed the
paper, yeah.
Paper that you were a hero, and now when your captain said, this is going to be this time going to be called Lupianville, do you think that was a joke, or he was or?
Well, he had to put something down because I didn't know the name of the town. He just brought it out as saying, because I was in charge of the patrol and he gave my name. That's all. I don't think it was a joke. He had to put something down on his report.
Did you is that town still existing?
I have no idea.
You have no idea if it still exists. You never followed up after the war. Now, what was the reaction of people when you came home and they said, "Wow, there's a town"?
What do you think it was?
What was the reaction of your camaradas or?
Nothing, really nothing. People in nothing out of the ordinary.
The newspaper, when they published a story, called you a hero, or described you as a hero. What do you think of this award, and what did it mean to you? Being described as a hero.
You can't describe a hero.
Or being called a hero.
Can't describe. What can you do? I mean, hero in the eyes of one can be a cat in the eyes of another. I mean, there's no difference. There's no heroes. There's only dead heroes.
There's only what?
Dead heroes.
There's only dead heroes?
Yeah. Those are the heroes. The guys that didn't come back. That's what I feel. I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything either. My friends, my buddies, my family, they believe in all that.
So for you, you never see this article is meaningless to you?
Oh, no, it's not. It is meaningless. It isn't that big of a deal. I mean, what? Sure, I mean, something that my kids treasure, my family treasures, but I have no. It was something that had to be done. It had just happened. I don't feel like these guys there. Those are guys that did something. I mean, that's nothing there. Those guys really. There's many guys here in this post that did more than that. This Joe Lerma, and I had his article. I couldn't find. I looked for that thing. I couldn't find it.
There's also an article on Joe Lerma.
Yeah, but that come out in the old Cannery newspaper.
Old Cannery. That's the name of the newspaper.
The Van Camp Cannery used to put our newspaper. I doubt if it's where's around anymore.
After capturing that town, what happened? What happened? What other assignment did you?
Well, I went back and I made my report, and we just continued on. That's when we crossed the Rhine and went away and crossed the Rhine. Got our tanks and went on ahead.
That was part of your duty to report what had been completed or accomplished.
You have to make a report on everything.
After that episode of your experience, what else went on?
Fighting. What can you do? I mean, in infantry, there's very little you can't do. I mean, you can do without. That's it. You just fight. That's it.
What is the thing that you miss most from home?
Oh, food, I guess.
When you were in war or in the war, what is it that you miss most from mom or home? Said food, like
Oh, yeah.
such as, or what type of foods did you miss?
Oh, my dad used to send me cans of jalapenos. You know, that's, you send anything else, it'd be perishable. These cans would be dented, but they'd be there. He used to get them stuffed with chile, stuffed with tuna and everything else,
¿Extrañaba las tortillas, los frijoles?
Oh, yeah. That's what they had to do. You couldn't get them.
So you remained in Germany when the Germans surrendered? You were in Germany already?
Yeah.
And what exact location were you in when Germany declared a surrender?
We were in a place ended up in Chemnitz.
Mm-hmm.
City of Chemnitz. Chemnitz, I think. Chemnitz.
What were the reactions of your the two?
Oh, man, everybody was happy. Sure. The war was over. No more. Drink the beer.
Was that the first thing that your platoon did? Drink beer?
Oh, you're always drinking wine and beer. Oh, yeah. Great.
Did you come home right away after the...
No, I didn't get home till September, October, and it was 45. Yeah.
Till this months after the war, or...
Oh, no, war ended in May, I think, wasn't it?
What were your duties after the war had ended?
None. We set up different barricades on main thoroughfares to control the flow of refugees. That's where I saw all these German refugees, and they'd get stuck between the Russians and us. During the day, they'd accumulate between the two stockades. And at night, we'd let them through. We'd let them through. And a lot of them would thank us. A lot of them would nothing. They were ready to go.
A lot of Germans thanked you guys?
Oh, yeah. Especially slave labor was most of them that they would give us. As long as we let them through the damn lines so they could get home. There's a lot of slave labor like that.
Was this slave labor under American?
No, the Germans.
The Germans?
They were slave labor brought from their countries by the Germans to work in German factories and all that bit. And when the war was over, they just let them go. And they wanted to go home.
Were you able to see any Russian troops?
Oh, yeah. A couple of times.
How was that experience?
The first time, man, I got snoggered.
You got what?
Drunk.
You mean you got drunk with the Russian troops?
Yeah. So the war was over and we finally met. The first thing the old man says, the guy says, take me to your commanding officer. I took him to my captain. Every time that we stopped to see somebody going up the echelon, captain, colonel, all that, drink vodka. Man, that's the first time I drank vodka. Man, by the time I got to the... That was really something.
Where did you first meet them? What or what city or location?
I could remember. I know it's on the Elbe River somewhere.
How did the Germans react to Russians?
Oh, they're scared of them.
Why?
I don't know why, but they were scared of them.
Did they rather be under American?
Yeah, they would.
So they listen. Great. We want to conclude this interview with these last questions. And this officially makes this interview complete. So again, Mr. Lupian, I would like to thank you for allowing us to interview you.
Mm-hmm.
So muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So lo que escribieron aquí en San Diego, fue la reacción de sus padres.
Yeah.
Su papá estaba orgulloso de usted.
Oh, yeah.
¿Cuál fue su reacción de su papá cuando vino para atrás de usted?
Oh, he was proud. He was working. Like I said, when I came home and I finally got it, came down from Fort McArthur, I ended up there and they gave us a 3-day pass. I came down on the bus and I got off there at the Capichel, the bowling alley, and my old man was working in there. He was way down the brass, gringada, toda.
Cosa.
And
¿No hubo pachanga después de que...
no, eso nunca se acabó. No, yeah, but I did. When I did get home, I got home, nobody was home. I lived down here, about 5 blocks from down here, 4 blocks. Says, nobody's home. What in the heck? So I said, well, I'm not going to stay here alone. So I walked up to police we used to call it Lorraine's, a bar, dance hall bar for all the cute chicks with me. And all the 4Fs were there in that China. But I got in there with a bunch of guys already home, GIs.
Was Oscar Romero home already?
Yeah, but he was in Arizona. I don't know when he got home, but he...
So after getting back home and meeting with Paula GIs, what did you guys talk about?
Nothing.
Did you guys talk anything concerning the war at all?
No.
And just glad that everything was over with?
Party after party. It was a party every night.
What were the commentaries? What were the commentaries towards
Oh yeah, a bunch of good. Well, raza, they praise you, all that bit. There was all kind of guys like that came back. That's why I actually get a hold of Joe Lerma. That guy, he's all right.
So what is about Joe Lerma that?
Well, he captured this pillbox, and the last guy that come out was the German colonel,
Uh-huh.
he took his cross, gave it to him. He says, "That's for bravery, son." He felt good. When I got my daughter out there, I better again.
Ándale pues, señor. Muchas gracias.
Yeah,
Gracias, muy amable.
Sí, decir.